Okay. Um, Sorry guys. I started doing this and then I was like, wait, let me make sure it's recording, and it was not recording. So here I am again. So I did a couple already. This is page 9. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to work the problems out. But right now I'm going to work them with you. But right now I did them in advance. So I'm going to kind of just go over what I did, and then I only got 3 done. So, and then I'm going to go from there. So the first one, cell phone has a rectangular screen that measures 5 centimeters by 7 centimeters. What is the measure of the diagonal of the screen? So you have, you need to use the Pythagorean theorem. So 5 and 7 are your legs. 7 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared, or c squared. X squared is 74, square root of both sides. 74 is not a perfect square, so you just leave it as x equals the square root of 74. Number 2, the diagram shows a wire attached to the top of a telephone pole. So once again, you're using the Pythagorean theorem, except across from the hypotenuse, that's your c squared. So that's going to be on the opposite side of the equals, and you're going to have x squared plus 55 squared equals 80 squared. X squared is 3,375. I got that from doing 55 squared and then 80 squared and subtracting those. And then x is approximately 58 feet because the square root of 3,375 comes out to be like 58.09. Moving down to number 3. Again, Pythagorean theorem. What is the width of the rectangle? This says 3x centimeters, and this says x centimeters. And the hypotenuse here is 20 centimeters. Big thing here is you want to make sure you put the 3x in parentheses, because both things are being squared, not just the x and not just the 3. So then when you solve this out, you get x squared plus 9x squared equals 20 squared. Then you get, you keep simplifying down, and you wind up getting x equals the square root of 40, because 20 squared is 400. Then you can combine 3x squared and x squared to get, or 9x squared and x squared to get 10x squared. 10x squared equals 400. And then that's that. Number 4, points P and Q are plotted on this coordinate graph. So this is where I had stopped. But basically, here's your 2 points. And what is the approximate length of PQ? So whenever you have a line here, a line is a line segment is a hypotenuse of a right triangle. And you need to figure out what the legs are. So the way you figure that out is you can draw the triangle if you want. But basically, you're looking for 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many boxes over? That's 8 by 3. So 8 squared plus 3 squared equals, sorry, I didn't mean to put that there, equals c squared. And then you solve that out, and your final answer comes out to be this one right here. Okay. Number 5, moving down, the coordinates of 2 points are given below. You have J is 2, 8, and K is 7, 19. What is the distance between points J and K? D was the correct answer here. The line segment is the hypotenuse of a right triangle with legs that measure 5 and 11. Use the Pythagorean theorem to solve x squared equals 11 squared plus 5 squared, or x squared equals 146. So here you could probably draw it out, label your points, and then just see how far away they are from each other. You also, basically what you're looking here is you're looking at your x values and you're looking at your y values. 7 and 2 are 5 away from each other, so 5 is going to be one of your legs. And 8 and 19 are 11 away from each other, so 11 is going to be another leg. So now you have 5 squared plus 11 squared equals c squared. And then from there, that's when you get x squared. Sorry, I keep changing variables on you. C squared equals 146. And then c equals the square root of 146. All right. this now I think we're on page 10. Let me just go down. Number 1 on page 10. What is the distance between the 2 points on the coordinate grid below? So I don't know if you can see both points. There's one right there, and then there's one down there. So the correct answer here is D. And once again, use the Pythagorean theorem to determine the distance C between 2 points on a coordinate grid, where A is the difference in the x coordinates and B is the difference in the y coordinates. So you're going to figure out what this is. This is, what do you got? -2, 3, right? -2, 3. And here you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, -4? I think so. You got 1, -4. So you're finding the difference to find the legs, and then you're setting up the Pythagorean theorem. Final answer is square root of 58. Number 2. What is the distance in units between the 2 points 3, 4 and -1, -6 on a coordinate grid? So here we go. D. Sorry guys, the space is so small for me to show all this work. So I'm going to just talk it out, but feel free, to reach out to me if you don't understand and want me to solve it out on bigger paper. But again, we're using the Pythagorean theorem to determine the distance between 2 points. So I can try to write this one out. Maybe, let's see. C squared equals, and now how I'm going to write this, because I want to show you in multiple ways, is, hold on 1 second. Let me just see. Is that the same one we just did? Hold up. No, it's different. Okay. I'm going to have -1 minus 3 squared. And then I'm going to add that. Sorry, I got to come down here. 4 minus -6 squared. And that is all going to equal your x, well, to equal your c squared up here. Sorry, it shouldn't be there. So this is the difference in x values and the difference in y values. So it winds up becoming c equals the square root of 116. Hopefully that makes sense, because up here I'm going to have -1 minus 3, -4 squared. And down here I'm going to have 10 squared, 100 plus 16. Hopefully that is making sense to you where I'm getting all of these numbers from. So next is number 3. Number 3, a right triangle is shown below. What is the length in inches of side B? So you should know this is the hypotenuse. So you're just going to have, is that a different problem below? The correct answer is A, but you should have B squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. B squared equals 25, or plus 25 equals 169. B squared equals 144. B equals the square root of 144, which does simplify to 12. Number 5. Well, I guess there was a problem there. Maybe. An artist created a sculpture in the shape of a cube shown below. The sculpture will be placed outside a hotel and installed so that corner A rests on the ground with corner B directly above it. What will be the height and feet of the sculpture when it is installed? The response to this is the result of applying the Pythagorean theorem twice to determine the length of the diagonal of a cube. And the diagonal length of one face of the cube is the length of the corner from A to B. So the answer for this one was B. And once again, Pythagorean theorem just keeps going. And you can kind of see, like, there should be a, oh, wow, that's horrible. Should be a line there. All right, let's go on to page 11. that page was all about Pythagorean theorem. So again, any questions, any further detail, just contact me. All right, we're jumping to page 11. Page 11, system of equations. A system of equations is graphed below. What is the best estimate of the solution to the system of equations? So remember, solutions to system of equations are where the line intersects. And the answer to this was B. And the line intersects at approximately negative 1.5 comma 2.5, and that's approximate. You might have gotten something slightly different. So therefore x is negative 1.5 and y is 2.5. So you can kind of see it's like right in the middle. Number 2, a system of linear equations is given below. What is the x value of the solution to the system of equations? So you can solve this multiple ways, but the way I would solve it is I would do elimination and I'd multiply this bottom by 2. So now I'm going to have negative 2x plus y equals 16. It's going to stay the same, but when I multiply the bottom by 2, I'm going to have 2x plus 6y equals 12. Let me just double check my math. And now I'm going to wind up adding both of these so that those two cancel. We get 7y equals 28, y equals 4. I'm running out of room, but then I want to plug the 4 back into something. I'd probably plug it in here. X plus, and then instead of writing 3y, I'm going to write 12 equals 6. X equals negative 6. So the correct answer to this was B. What is the result of solving this system of equations? For this one, again, I'd probably just multiply this. I'm not going to show you all the work, but I'm going to show you what I would do. I'd multiply this by 3 to get 9x minus 3y equals 24. And then I would add those two so that your x's cancel. You have negative 3y and 3y, so those are going to cancel. So now all your variables have canceled. So on this side, you'd have 0 equals 24, 0 equals 34. Once everything cancels. And we know that this is not true. So the correct answer is D. It has no solution. If that would have been 0 equals 0, 34 equals 34, it would say the system has infinitely many. But since it's not a true statement, the system has no solutions. Going down to, make sure I'm on the same page here. Question number 1. Hold on, I gotta find it. What is the solution to this system of equations? Okay, good. Here the correct answer is D, 8 comma 16. You can use anything you want to do this, but I would do multiply the top equation by 2 on both sides, then you get 10x plus 4 equals 16. And then you add the equations together to cancel out your y's. Multiply this top one by, what did I say, 2? Yeah. And then that, when you cancel out your y's, you wind up getting 4x because you have 10x equals 0. Oh no, 32 because we're adding them. 32. And then x equals 8. And then you can plug 8 back into either one. When you do that, you get 16 to get your y value. All right, let's give me 1 second here. Now we are on to, this is still page 11. We're just going on to question number 2. What is the solution, if any, to the system of equations? Correct answer is C. There are no solutions. Once again, you're gonna, let's see, multiply the top equation by 2, then add them together. And you wind up getting, you should get something like 0 equals negative 1, because when you multiply the top by 2, it cancels those, but then it also cancels those. 0 equals negative 1. Therefore, there are no solutions. Going down to page 12. Just find it on mine. This is question number 1. Hold up. Mine are not lined up here. Page 12, question number 1. What is the solution to this equation? This is A. You want to subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 2x equals 13 minus 7 is a 6. Divide by negative 2. X equals negative 3. What is the solution to this equation? Ooh, it's hard to read, but don't be afraid of fractions. Add 1/2 to both sides. 3/4 y equals 5/8 plus 1/2 is going to be 9/8, I believe. Just double check myself. Yeah, 9/8. Then you're going to divide by 3/4, which is keep, change, flip. So you keep 9/8, change to multiplication, flip. So this is going to be wind up multiplying by 4/3. Y equals 36 over 24. And that reduces to 3/2, which is D. Number 3. Solve this. You want to distribute the 4.6 to both things there and the 2.5 to both items there. Then you're going to get 9.6x. 9.6x minus 16.7 equals 4.9. Now this is I simplified this and then I combine my x's and I combine my other terms. And then from here you're going to add, so you're going to get 9.6x equals, add 16.7 to both sides, 21.6. Divide by 9.6. X equals 2.25. Sorry. C. Question 4. Going back up here to question 4. What value of z makes the equation true? Now, remember for this one, you're distributing a negative 4, not a positive 4. So you have 9z minus 4z plus 8 equals 6. 9z minus 4z is 5z. And I'm going to subtract 8, so negative 2. 5, or no, I'm going to divide. So z equals negative 2 over 5b. What is the solution to this equation? Hopefully you guys can read this. I'll rewrite it down here actually. I'm just going to put a little line. 7p, no. I don't think I can erase. Yes, I can. Oh, wow. I can erase this whole time. 7 minus 4p plus p equals 5p plus 5. 7 minus 3p equals 5p plus 5. I'm going to add 3p here and subtract 5. 2 equals 8p. Divide by 8. P equals 2 over 8. Or 1/4. 1/4 is B. There you go. Question number 6. 5y, I'm just going to draw lines like that so you know where we are. 5/4 y plus 6 minus 1/3 y equals 8. Again, we're just combining like terms. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to do 5/4 minus 1/3. And all of it in the end comes out to be 24 over 11. Any questions on that one, just let me know. All right, moving down. Let's see, I think we're on next page now, which is this 13? Page 13. What is the value of n in this equation? So here we want to add 4.5 to both sides. (1.5n) equals 7.5. Divide by 1.5. N equals 5. One little trick when dividing decimals here, you're going to get 7.5 divided by 1.5. Remember, if you move the decimal one place value, you can move the decimal of the other. That's how you divide decimals. So 7.5 divided by 1.5 becomes 75 divided by 15, and that is much easier to do. Going down to number 2, solve for x. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. Negative 2x equals 8. Divide by negative 2. X equals negative 4b. Still on page 13, solve for x. 12x minus 8 equals 12. 12x equals 20. X equals 20 over 12, which does simplify down to 5/3. Question number 4. Here you want to combine anything you can. So you have 6y minus 1 equals 7 minus 2y. Add 1, add 2, 8y equals 8, y equals 1. Going down to number 5. Solve for x. 1/3 times 2/3 x minus 9 equals 1/6 x. So here you're going to have 2/9 x minus 9 over 3 is 3. Equals 1/6 x. I'm going to subtract 2/9 x. Negative 3 equals 1/6 minus 2/9. Let's see. And then I'm going to have 1/6 minus 2/9. This is going to be 3 over 54x. Negative 3 over 54x. Divide both sides. X equals 54. Number 6. Solve another one with fractions. Basically combine your like terms on this side, then cross over, you wind up getting D as your final answer. Again, that's another one that's very similar to all the others, solving equations, but if you need anything, the answers are on Weebly where they explain it out for you, or you can contact any of us if you need a more thorough explanation. Page 14. Make sure I'm on the right one. Okay. Point T is located at negative 4, 2 on a coordinate plane. If point T is translated 3 units to the right and 5 units down to produce point T1, what are the coordinates of point T1? So translating 3 units to the right and 5 units down changes the coordinates of the points. So negative 4, when you're going 3 units to the right, you're going to add 3. And then 2, moving 5 units down, you're going to subtract 5. So negative 4, you're adding 3. So that new unit becomes a negative 1. And then, was that 2, right? 2, and then you went 5 units down. That becomes negative 3. Negative 1, negative 3 is B. Question 2. The vertices of triangle RST are located as follows. R is negative 2, 6, S is negative 1, negative 3, and T is 4, 5. If triangle RST is reflected in the x-axis to produce triangle R1, S1, T1, what are the coordinates of R1, S1, and T1? So reflecting a point in the x-axis multiplies its y-coordinates by -1 and does not change the x-coordinates. So R -2, 6 becomes R -2, -6. S -1, -3 becomes S -1, 3. And T 4, 5 becomes T 4, -5, which is C. So you wind up changing the sign of the y value, multiplying everything by -1, but you don't change the x. Moving on to number 3, look at triangle PQR in the coordinate grid below. Suppose that PQR is the result of a dilation of triangle PQR centered at the origin with a scale factor of 1.5. What are the coordinates of P1, Q1, and R1? Under a dilation centered at the origin, the coordinates of each point are multiplied by the scale factor, and in this case, the scale factor is 1.5. So P, which is -6, -4, multiply both of those by 1.5, and it becomes -9, -6. Q goes from 0, 4 to 0, 6, and R goes from 4, -2 to 6, -3. And all of those answers are right there under A. Going down to number 4, the diagram shows triangle JKL on a coordinate grid. JKL is reflected in the y-axis, then translated 5 units to the left. What are the new coordinates of the point? So reflecting the y-axis, you're going to move, reflecting across the y-axis, you're going to, for point J, you're going to wind up multiplying the x value now instead of the y value by -1. So -3, 1 becomes 3, 1, and then translating 5 units down, or 5 units to the left, you're going to wind up subtracting. So you're going to have 3 minus 5 to get -2. And your 1 stays the same. So -2, 1, right there. All right, what page are we on now? I think we are on 14. No, that was 14. This is 15, page 15. Look at rectangle ABCD on the coordinate grid below. Can you guys see this? Oh my. Okay, I'm erasing that. A, B, C, D. There's where the triangle is. A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D. And the question says rectangle ABCD is translated 2 units and 4 units up 2 units and 4 units to the right. What are the coordinates of the new rectangle? So the x coordinate and y coordinates for each translated point are x plus 4 and y plus 2. X plus 4, y plus 2. So that's how you're going to change. So you got to figure out what all the points are, and then you've just got to change them, and the correct answer winds up being B. Number 2. Look at the triangle ABC on the coordinate grid below. Triangle ABC undergoes a dilation with a center at the origin and a scale factor of 2, and then is rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin to create triangle DEF. What are the coordinates of triangle DEF? So the response is the result of correctly dilating a triangle with the origin as the center and a scale factor of 2, and then rotating it 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin on the coordinate grid. The correct answer there is going to be D. Let's see. We got question 1. We're kind of going away from dilations and things now. Just give me 1 second. We are going down to question 1, and we are still on page 15. The graph shows how the amount of air in a balloon changes over time. What is the meaning of the y-intercept of the graph? The y-intercept is right there. And the y-intercept, correct answer was A. The balloon started with 400 cubic inches of air, and then it slowly deflated. Number 2. A newborn baby walrus is gaining weight according to the equation W equals 5t plus 130, where t is the age of the walrus in weeks and W is its weight in pounds. What is the meaning of the 5 in this equation? So 5 is B, is the weight of the baby walrus is increasing at a rate of 5 pounds a week. Question 3. The graph of a line contains the points 4, -2 and -7, 3. What is the slope of the line? So you want slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that can be 3 minus -2 over, I did y3 minus over -7 minus 4. And that all simplifies down to -5 over 11. Question number 4. The graph of a line is shown below. Which of the following is an equation of the line? So the line rises 4 units for every 3 units of run. So you can pick 2 points. Say you want to do this one and this one. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Or rises 4 units for every 3 units of run. So its slope is 4/3. Its x-intercept. Oops, sorry, I picked the wrong one there. Not want to do that. It rises 4 units for every 3 units of run. So let's see. I think that those weren't exact. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So slope becomes 4/3. It intercepts the y-axis. Where does it intercept the y? Right here. That is 0, -2. So the y-intercept is -2 and the slope is 4/3. Therefore, you can plug all of that into y equals mx plus b. And it's hard to see, but slope is -4/3 and y-intercept is -2. Question 5. The table shows how the speed of a car changes over time. Which equation describes the relationship between t, the time in seconds, and s, the speed in miles per hour? The correct answer here is D. It's really hard to see. But it says S equals -5t plus 60. If the points in the table were graphed, they would lie on a line with the s-intercept at 0, 60, and a slope of -5, so the equation would be -5t plus 60. All right. I'm just going down. Page 16. Just see where we're at here. Hopefully this is recording. Page 16. All right. The table below represents the outside temperature recorded at a weather station as cold air mass approaches. What is the rate of temperature change during this time period? So you have A is the correct answer for this. The response is the result of calculating the rate of change of a function using any 2 points from the table. So you're looking for the change in temperature compared to the change in time. So you can do -2 minus 4 over 6 minus 2 to get -6 over 4, which then goes down to -3 over 2. Question number 2. Let's see. What was the initial temperature of the unknown liquid? So you have time here, temperature here. So the initial temperature is right about there, the Y value, and that is about 20, which is C. Page 17 now. I think we're on page 17. Oh no, there's still page 16. It says 17, but there's still some 16 questions on here. I'm gonna jump over to this one next. I think. No, I'll do this one. Emma is decorating gift boxes with ribbon that came from a new roll of the ribbon. The table below shows the number of boxes decorated X and the number of feet of ribbon remaining on the roll Y. So the correct answer here is D. And again, you want to look for the change in Y over the change in X, and you wind up getting 1.5, and then you use that to figure out the number of feet remaining on the roll is equal to the initial number of feet minus the change in number of feet, negative 1.5 times the number of boxes. And I told you at the beginning that there were 50. So Y equals 50 minus 1.5X. Going over to number 4, and these are our last 2 pages. Ted borrowed some money from his sister. She did not charge him interest because he agreed to make weekly payments. The graph below shows a function that models the remaining balance on the loan as a function of the number of payments made. Based on the graph, which equation represents the relationship of remaining payments and the number of payments made? Correct answer here is B. The initial value of the function is the y-intercept, which is 500. So the rate of change of the function, or the slope, is the change in y divided by the change in x. So you can pick some points, multiply them, and you get the rate of change is negative 40. So the equation of the line is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Negative 40x plus 500. The slope is negative because the remaining amount of the loan decreases with increasing number of loan payments. All right, number 1 again. Just find this on mine. Exponents. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression? So remember, first you want to combine anything up top. So same bases, you can add, when multiplying same bases, you add the exponents. So you got 3 to the 7th minus 4 squared over 3 cubed minus 4 to the 5th. 3 to the 7th becomes 3 to the 4th minus 4 to the negative 3rd. And B is the correct answer, because how do you get rid of a negative? You move it to the bottom. So 3 to the 4th over 4 to the 3rd. Dinosaurs became extinct about 6.55 times 10 to the 7th years ago. Modern humans emerged about 2 times 10 to the 5th. So here scientific references are from, so you want 6.55 times 10 to the 7 minus 2 times 10 to the 5th. Remember, you cannot add unless they have the same base to the same exponent. So I'm going to change the 1 to 655 times 10 to the 5th minus 2 times 10 to the 5th. Now that is doable. 653 times 10 to the 5th. And then this needs to be between 1 and 10. So I go like that, and the correct answer is D. Number 3. 14 to the 4th times 4 to the negative 3rd. Which of the following is equivalent to the expression? So let's see. 14 to the 4th. How could you rewrite that? You could rewrite that by saying 7 times 2 to the 4th over 4 to the 3rd. And then you can do 7 to the 4th times 2 to the 4th over 2 squared to the 3rd. And then you'll be able to simplify your 2's from there. And your final answer is A. Sorry, I really did not have enough room to do that problem at all. So again, let me know if it's confusing when you look at the answer key. Look at the equation below. What is the solution to the equation? This one's pretty simple. You want to just take the square root of both sides. So x equals square root of 90. D. All right, guys, last page here. Just a couple more problems. Question 5. A person's hair is about 70 micrometers, or 7.0 times 10 to the negative fifth. So you want to confine the, so let me just see. You want n to be, this one, the correct answer was C. Oops. Sorry, hit the wrong one. Here was C. Comparing you were dividing the person's hair by the person's head to get 2 times 10 to the third. What is the value of, I don't know if you can see this, the cubed root of 216? So the cubed root is which number times itself 3 times gives you 216. The correct answer is A. I would just go through and multiply these. 6 times 6 times 6, 24 times 20, do it till you get it. It's the best way to solve those. Going down to another question, number 1. What is the value of the square root of 144? That is 12. 12 times 12 is 144. What is an equivalent expression for 7 to the 4th times 2 to the 3rd to the 3rd times 7? Correct answer is B. Because you can do 2 to the 3rd to the 3rd becomes 2 to the 9th. And then 7 to the 4th times 7 is 7 to the 5th. Number 3, which expression is equivalent to 2 to the 4th times 3 to the negative 10 over 3 squared to the 3rd times 2 to the negative 2nd? Correct answer is D. You want to do 3 squared to the 3rd to get 3 to the 6th right here. 3 to the negative 10th minus 3 to the 6th is 3 to the negative 16th. 2 to the 4th minus 2 to the negative, what's 4 minus negative 2 is 2 to the 6th, right there, D. What is the solution for x in the equation x cubed equals 36? So this one, is it up here? Oh, right here. You want to take the cubed root of both sides, so you're going to get the cubed root of 36. Number 5, a comet's orbit is 7.2 times 10 to the 10th miles in length. The comet travels at an average speed of 1.6 times 10 to the 5th miles per hour. About how many hours does it take the comet to complete its orbit? So you want to divide the two whole numbers and then subtract the exponents. 7.2 divided by 1.6 is 4.5, and then 10 to the 10th minus 10 to the 5th is 10 to the 5th. So the correct answer there is C. And very last problem. An average blue whale weighs about 3 times 10 to the 5th pounds. A pygmy shrew weighs about 6 times 10 to the negative 3rd pounds. Approximately how many times more does a blue whale weigh than a pygmy shrew? Correct answer here is C. And you want to divide the weights of the two animals by dividing 3 by 6, and you're going to subtract the exponents because you're dividing. 5 minus negative 3 is 0.5 times 10 to the 8th, but you need to get in the correct form of scientific notation, so you move the decimal and take away 5 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, so that is all 18 pages. This is pages 9 through 18. Again, the answers and descriptions are also up on Weebly, but if you guys have any issues or need any help, feel free to reach out and let me know. All right, guys, take care.